We're touching
Hey,
armchair. Hello.
Long time no see.
Long time no see. Happy birthday.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, this is exciting. So you want to just come to Blizzard for to celebrate your birthday?
Yeah, it's a little bit crazy actually. Just thank you. Thanks for flying me
that's
out
awesome.
here. This is awesome.
That's fantastic.
It's definitely the darkest Hero Origins trailer I think you guys have come out with.
Yeah.
It's like a very different tone than the rest of Overwatch, and I think a lot of people love it.
Well, thank you. So it was directed by Jeremiah Johnson, who is the director of Alive. If you remember that animated short with Tracer and Widowmaker back in the day. So
King's Row.
Yeah, Jeremiah is brilliant. He's also directed a bunch of the Hearthstone movies, written by Andrew Robinson, edited by Michael Bancroft, and the art is by Ness Kane, who has done a lot of our Origin pieces, but he's also done a bunch of the Overwatch comics. So it was, and then we have a fantastic creative crew that surrounds them, from game team writers like Alyssa and Michael, Jeff Chamberlain from our story and franchise group, and we were even lucky we had Chris Metzen as creative consultant on this one.
Ooh,
he came back
that's
and
cool.
He gave his feedback, like the line where he says, "The universe is singing to me." That is pure Metzen right there.
That's awesome.
So it was we had so much fun making this one. It was really Jeremiah. We pitched the character of Sigma to him. We said, "Hey, look, here's who this person is." And he's like, "I have a crazy idea, but I can't really pitch it to you. Me and Michael just have to show it to you."
Yeah.
And then they put together this animatic, and as soon as they showed it to us, we were like, "Okay, you guys just go ahead and make that, and it's going to be awesome."
I can't imagine trying to type out that type of
explain what's in your head.
You cannot easily explain it, I think.
Yeah. So it's been a lot of fun. And then we have a great voice actor too, Boris, who is actually Dutch. And it was extremely challenging. Our voice director, Andrea Toyas, she's amazingly talented to find a fantastic Dutch actor who can do English and Dutch. We were just really lucky with this one. So we have a new hero coming to Overwatch
very soon.
Very, very soon.
Very soon.
And I believe you are going to be the first one to play him before anybody else.
That's the coolest birthday present of all time.
Yeah, look at that.
That's so cool.
You get your own hero. You get 31 heroes for an hour before the rest of humanity. So enjoy your birthday present.
Before I go in game.
Yes.
I don't know anything about Sigma. Tease me. What archetype is he? Tank, support, or DPS?
He is a tank. I keep seeing people say he's an off tank, but he's not. He is a main tank. He's a barrier tank. Yeah. We felt like we needed another complement to Reinhardt and Orisa, and people wanted another playstyle with a barrier. Yeah. And his barrier is a lot of fun. This is a high skill, like a three-star difficulty rating tank to use because of the barrier placement. Unlike Orisa's, where Orisa, every time she deploys a shield, she gets full health on it.
Yeah.
His is more like Reinhardt's shield, where it's got one health pool to it.
I'm going to hop in the game right now.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Training range. It's time.
Yeah.
I want to see him. Because you're explaining to me, I'm like, 3-star difficulty, very difficult to play.
Okay, listen for this. Listen to this moment. Oh, you can hear it.
You can hear it. Wait.
We still have the front end music.
There is no obligation.
The tiniest melody when you click on him. Yeah, you can just barely hear it. I wonder if I can actually. Well,
once the intro music is done, if you switch off of him and switch back, you'll hear it again. Yeah.
That's cool. I like that.
Music by Derek Duke, who is our amazing composer.
That's awesome.
So we had so much fun making this character.
Okay. So first things first.
Okay.
I have never seen this character, so I'm probably just going to click buttons and go crazy in the meantime.
Well, nobody has seen this character.
Yes.
I would be worried if you had seen this character.
Okay.
So let me know. I can explain anything to you if you just want to figure it out and have some fun. Hyperspheres.
That bounce?
Yeah.
Do they track? It looks like you have to be at a good range.
Yeah, you have to. you sort of have it's short to mid range, and then they explode. We do
Reminds
that.
me of Roadhog's right click.
Yeah, we do that for tanks to pull you in. You know, we like tanks engaging. We don't like tanks being snipers.
Yeah. And then
And there's impact damage and explosion damage on those.
His right click is crazy.
His right click is crazy.
So,
That's
okay,
his barrier.
let me explain it to chat. When you right click once, it goes out kind of like the old Symmetra shield, right? And then you tap right click again, and it stops.
But you're right click and holding. You're controlling. Unlike the Symmetra shield, which just went out at its own velocity, you're actually controlling where the shield goes. You want to have some fun? Aim it up in the sky. Pretend there's Pharah there.
Oh, that's gonna be weird.
Yeah. Or, you know, those times, like, think of Watchpoint Gibraltar, the first little stretch there when you're trying to round the corner and everybody bunkers up top, and you can put your barrier and sort of block them.
So how the control works for those in chat, pretty much you hold right click and it goes out, and when you let go of right click, it stops.
And then you can bring it back to
And then
yourself.
when you tap right click again, it'll bring it back in so you can toss it in a new direction. It's like this. You can bring it back, put it over here, bring it back, put it over there. You can go very fast. Like if you just do it all in one go, you can probably go even faster, but it's pretty
they're
crazy.
already calling it broken.
I know. Of course they are. Well, everything,
That's what I love to
is
see.
broken.
It's broken.
Okay, so we've seen
it's OP. It's really hard to use. Like, and again, it's not an Orisa barrier, so you're not getting 1,500 health every time you
because it's
recall
Reinhardt,
that.
because you have to pull it back, and then you have to put it back in a new spot. So, quick example, these guys don't do too much damage. You can kind of see 1,400, right? I pull it back, put a new spot, still 1,400, still 1,400, right? Does it only regenerate when it's away, similar to Reinhardt shield?
Yeah, you have to bring it back.
Makes sense, makes sense. So I bring it back. Same exact regeneration rate as what kind of reminds me of Reinhardt.
Very
okay,
similar.
so let's test out his ultimate. I don't.
Straight to the ult.
Straight to the ult. All right, let's do it. This guy. This bot is the chosen one. Wait, what? So you go into the sky.
So there's a lot to explain about that one. We can break it down if you want.
I go in the sky.
You go in the sky.
I put down basically a black hole on the ground, and then after a couple seconds, whoever is still in it takes a ton of damage.
Well, first they get suspended.
Oh yeah, because they get knocked into the sky.
Which is similar. It's similar to like a Zarya Graviton or a Junkrat Trap, where they have some. They can still attack you back when they're up in the air.
Yeah.
But they're up in the air. It's also a very nice distance for him to hit with his hyperspheres when they're up in the air. And then at the end of the duration, they get slammed down for 50% of their max health.
Oh, 50% of max health?
50% of max health. There's a bug on the PTR where these training bots, they just explode in the air. But you'll see when you start playing later today that you'll go up and 50% of max health.
So pretty much, you go into the sky, you put down a black hole on the ground, everyone goes in the air. If they remain in the air or in the zone after 2 seconds, they get slammed down for 50% of their max HP.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, what you're going to see is when they're in the air, they're extremely vulnerable.
Yeah.
So it's not the slam down that's the problem a lot of the time.
They're stuck.
Yeah.
Well, can they just walk out of it a little bit? So, like, let's do it on this guy again. So, instantly you go into the sky, right? And this kind of gives you... You can actually fly straight up with it if you wanted. He's going to get knocked into the sky, right? And you get to shoot him, do whatever you want. And, well, his knockdown got prevented by the platform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you're ever going to see these bots hit the ground. I think these are bugged on the PTR.
Yeah, they are.
But, yeah.
These are bugged bots.
Yeah. Bugged bots.
On live, they don't take damage until they hit the ground.
Until they hit the ground.
Yes.
Yeah.
And very soon, people get to play.
Yeah, and this is very similar for people wondering on the receiving end, because obviously, like, the ultimate looks really, really overpowered.
Yeah.
As does every ultimate, or as should every ultimate look and feel that way. But it's very similar, I would say, to Doomfist, Meteor Strike.
Yeah.
Where on the receiving end, you have some time and warning. It's very obvious when Sigma's doing this, and you kind of go into run mode when you hear that, and
try and get out of the range.
You scatter.
Gotcha. So now I guess it's finally time to show Shift again. So let's look at Shift next.
Okay. Shift. We're going to want to go over to these little guys right
Am
here.
I grabbing the enemy
bullets?
Yes.
Yeah.
Enemy projectiles and bullets?
Yes. Now, do it and then watch your health and shields in the lower left.
Okay, 2, 1. Wait for the next burst right here. Oh. Did I just eat that and get the health?
You're eating that, and you can gain, and it's tough because these guys don't do a lot of damage.
Yeah, these guys don't do any damage, right?
But if you can take up to 400 shield damage, and you'll build, so you can come away from that ability with 800. So
health.
In
other words, it converts damage taken to absorb to like to shield.
Yes, and that's called kinetic grasp.
So in other words,
you know physics.
It's like if I just get this real quick, right, and then I let go, I'll get 413 HP.
Yeah.
But imagine if that was a bunch of enemies shooting me right then, right?
Yeah. Like imagine this in a competitive match.
Yeah.
It's kind of that Zarya effect where when you see Sigma do this ability, you should stop shooting.
Yeah.
It's not as devastating as Zarya because he's not turning it back into damage at you. But he gains a lot of it's a good tanky survivable moment. Think of like you know how Orisa can do her fortify in those sort of I was gonna say a bad word, but the OSH moments, you know, when Orisa like I'm gonna hit the button now, it's the same for him where I need a big amount of survivability.
But you have to time it offensively to the enemy team.
Yes.
In terms of you have to wait until you're taking a burst damage, you block it, and you turn the block into heals.
Yeah.
Well, not heals. Does it do
shield.
healing and shields, or is it just shields?
It's only shields, and it's very similar to like the Lucio drop the beat shields, where it's basically like you can even see from the dark blue.
It looks
it's
like
the
it.
temp shields, and then they will decay over time.
So that's his main survivability mechanic. As his main
that and the
defensive
barrier.
cooldown.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he has barrier. He can throw spheres, which bounce.
Yeah.
And then we have essentially an active mitigation via the block.
Mitigation. Yeah.
And that gives you additional HP turns damage taken into shields. And now, what's the E?
The E, it's called accretion. And so all of our physics majors know what that means.
What was that? Let me see this. That looks so cool. Hold on. I want to do on a full
Hit the
HP
guy
target.
from afar.
This one?
Yeah.
That looks sick.
Yeah. The further you hit your target, the more of a knockdown it does. If you hit a target really close, it's just damage.
Yeah.
If you hit a target really far away, not only is it damage, but it also does some CC to it.
Does it knock them back or down?
Both.
But only if you hit them really far away. Because if you do it close range like this,
it's very well.
He's
that
weak.
guy just
he was 1 HP,
exploded.
Yeah. All right.
See how like short it was when it's
close range is just a tiny little boop.
Yeah.
But then if I hit them across, say over here to there, they take a little knockdown effect. Huh?
Yep.
Well, he's gonna get knocked off the map, but you kind of see it.
You saw
he's
him
like boom.
Go back.
Let's see if I can actually test this on maybe this guy. He's 1 HP, but when he respawns, he'll be full HP. Or actually, well, wait a second. Does he have any mobility at all to get on high ground?
No, only his ultimate.
Because if I do it on this character. Yeah, that's the tiniest of knockdowns right there. It's like a split-second knockdown. I can't really do that mid-game. Like, it's really hard, but I can try. Okay. We're good, chat. The request was like, hey, you're on low settings. Stop. So I was like, we can't change it mid-game, can we? We could try.
We could try.
Because most people will never get to see on these settings now
what
how
it looks
cool
like.
it looks with the visual effects. But I can't change it mid-game. And I usually play on all low because pros don't like visual stuff.
They're all going to see at home soon enough, and they're beautiful machines.
Yeah.
There's some other cool things about this guy. His voice character is amazing. We needed a Talon, more Talon characters, a Talon tank. You can't see it because we're in first person right now, but you are floating His feet don't touch the ground. In fact, he doesn't.
Wait,
even,
really?
He doesn't even have shoes. Yeah, he's like Zenyatta style, just sort of hovering. There it is.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
What?
And he is 1 foot taller than Reinhardt because of floating, and he barely fits through some of our doorways.
Why doesn't he have shoes?
Yeah. Well, he doesn't need shoes.
That's so
I think
funny.
a better question is, why does Zenyatta have shoes? He doesn't need them.
It's true.
But there's more to it. Zenyatta used to walk at one point. He wasn't always floating around. But yeah.
But he still punches. He doesn't punch with gravity or anything.
No.
Okay. I guess that would look kind of weird considering he still needs to like punch people. Are there any voice lines on this build I can see?
There should be. There should be at least his basic ones.
The gravity of this situation. I don't think you understand the gravity of this
Maybe
situation.
too soon for that one.
I don't think you understand the gravity of this. I don't think you understand the gravity of this.
Can I see
situation.
any of them? Are any of them on this build that I can see at the menu or not? Or is that only coming? Usually you guys don't even launch with those.
You
on
can see
PTR.
what they. They're still working on some of the highlight intros, but you can see what's in this build.
Okay.
There might be mystery, awesome stuff. And there's also like his voice line when you select the character, which I believe is the universe is under no obligation to make sense to you.
Yeah.
Which
It doesn't look like you guys have tossed any of these in just yet in this
no, usually there's a little bit of a reveal period
build. Okay.
with that stuff.
Does Sigma have a passive ability?
No, he has no passive ability.
Okay.
Unless you consider no footsteps, which is
No footsteps, a little bit.
yeah,
kind
which
of a passive.
Is a good
Very
passive.
sneaky tank. Because most tanks, you know, they're just lumbering beasts. Like you hear them everywhere. They're giant.
Yeah, like Ryan.
Yeah, you can hear Orion
Or
everywhere.
Diva. Diva's pretty heavy footsteps.
Show us the golden gun for him? I don't know. I can see if that's up there real quick, chat. Let me check real quick for you.
Yeah, was the golden gun?
No, not here either.
Not yet.
So all of these will be in soon. Soon.
Yeah, they should be sneaking their way onto the PTR. It's also one of those things that our artists work on last, is that content, so we can bring heroes to you sooner.
Yeah.
Only through conflict.
Just a sec, chat. We have gotten another request.
Oh, jeez.
They are very like, we need the Ultra because probably the Ultimate would look really fancy, and I haven't gotten to show it.
Okay.
With Ultra graphics. We'll see.
There are probably artists back in the
I know.
Overwatch building just dying
I
right
know,
now.
they
Like,
probably
what did you
are.
do
Like,
to our
why
work?
did you not show it
Yeah.
Ultra? Like, what is he doing? I can understand.
Meanwhile, Josh, the hero designer on this one's like, yeah, it's cool. You showed all my abilities. Thank you.
All right, let's see it. Okay, now we're at Ultra. Let's turn it back on for the stream. See, look, chat. Now we're in full Ultra. Are you guys excited?
There is no obligation.
Crouch,
for
please.
the universe to make
You can
sense
crouch.
to
It's
you.
a
Yeah.
mini crouch.
Yeah.
Not quite as small as you can get with the other crouch.
Holy.
So if you land both of those, you're doing 120 damage.
120
If you
damage.
land both. And that also has to be
That's
direct
pretty tough.
hits.
So 60 on a direct per orb.
Because you get some for direct, some for the explosion, and then there's 2 of them.
It feels so weird to use this shield.
So internally, this is a very high skill cap character.
Yeah.
There are some of us that just sort of struggle, just like hopefully I get my shield somewhere and maybe do a little bit of damage. And then there are some of us on the team that just absolutely wreck people with this guy. Like he's a pretty amazing tank. And some of the diversity of what you can do with the shield is pretty amazing. Especially as you're moving through different maps. Like obviously we all like blocking choke points, like that's an obvious thing to do with the shield.
Yeah.
But suddenly realizing that you have an angle to high ground that you can shield for your team it's pretty exciting. Like if they were
so
perched.
like let's say if my team was over there and I time it right, that's kind of a shield.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be weird. Because you don't really think of it as much as, you know, Orisa throws his shield and you can do that for teammates, but it's not the same type of thing because if you miss, everyone's dead. But in this, you know, at least you could try again.
Yeah. And your level of control over this shield manipulation is much higher than Orisa's. Orisa's kind of a lob.
Yeah.
And a lot of really pro Orisa players practice in maps, you know, where they should stand and what angle they should throw shields down at different times, where this is much more of a direct connection with the barrier that you're sending out.
Yeah. So I have a question. So we've talked previously about, for those who perhaps just walked into the stream, his shift will eat enemy bullets, and the damage from that converts into shields and heals, right?
Just shields.
Okay, so just shields.
Yeah.
Okay, correction. So my question is, how does that work with ultimates such as High Noon, Graviton, etc.? Can I eat a Graviton as Sigma?
It's not like Defense Matrix.
Uh-huh.
So you're not like swallowing the ability. You're only absorbing the damage.
Oh.
If that makes sense.
Gotcha. So in other words, if I get hit by a Graviton, the Graviton still goes off, but I might absorb like the 1 damage it does.
Exactly.
But on the other hand, if a High Noon hits me, I can time that, and then suddenly I get a full shield from a High Noon. Okay. Interesting. So, in other words, you don't want him to eat all the ults in the game like D.Va.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
There are these moments of regret that you have as a game developer. And perhaps eating everybody's ult is one of those.
That was actually funny because he went into the ceiling before because they slammed down and he touched the ceiling. So he actually died from that. That's amazing.
I can't wait for you to see when you get into actual matches the character slamming down. It's pretty fantastic.
I'm surprised that you guys made his left click bounce. That's such an interesting one.
Well, we want to. I mean, it's really important for us, for tanks and supports, to have interesting, fun ways of shooting as well.
Yeah.
You know, we don't want damage to have all the fun all the time. And we know that there are highly skilled tank players as well who want to do things like crazy bounce shots. So we want to enable some of that. You can see in those hallways in particular, if you send the hyperspheres into these like tight little areas.
Oh, yeah. If you get stuck in a small room with one.
Yeah. Because you can sort of force the explosion range at that point, which is really nice.
Gosh, it's going to be so weird.
Yeah.
This pretty good damage, honestly. It reminds me so much of, you know, there's that element of wanting to get that sweet spot as Roadhog when you right-click. That reminds me of that's sort of the damage of this entire character, unless you're not in the open, right?
Yeah.
If you're in a room, obviously it bounces everywhere, but otherwise, you want to find the sweet spot and chase people with it, and it's kind of cool.
It's a lot of fun, and the nice part, a little bit different than Roadhog here, is you don't get penalized for direct damage up close, which is good, since it is his primary weapon. And then we've had a lot of fun with that ability, the accretion ability.
Yeah.
It's funny because the rock looks tiny in first person, but wait till you see it in third person later. It's like this huge mass that gets shot across the.
I mean, it looks pretty much the same size as the bots, and the bots are pretty huge.
Yeah.
So when you see it, I can just imagine like a tracer or something getting hit by this giant flying rock across the map. It's going to be huge.
It's very telegraphed, and it's easy to avoid. So I know a lot of players are going to be worried about it because it's CC, and we want to try to be as chill as possible with CC.
Yeah.
So that one is dodgeable. It's more about great timing and catching people off guard.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to like what you just did too, seeing how players use like mobility limited only to his ult.
Yeah, that's definitely a little more interesting because his ultimate, there's a lot of easy, from what it looks like so far, if I just hit it, it's kind of like a Doom Fistol. They just kind of sort of walk away before it hits them. But even if I click on someone with the ultimate, I actually get the full flight duration regardless if I just immediately pop it, I can just walk away or not. I like that.
Yeah, Doomfist has a little bit of that like option with his ult. Like, you know, have you ever seen the Doomfist that just uses his ult to like GG and get away? It's like I'm not attacking anybody. Yeah.
It's gonna be so interesting to see how players use his shield because I'm not. It reminds me a lot of the old Symmetra shield, but you just guys took it to the next evolution type of thing, which is like, why don't we just make this an entire tank ability? So I'm interested to see how people play with it. I'm just waiting now for the servers to go up. He's gonna hit the top. Boom.
Oh, there it goes. It slammed him down.
I think they have to be exactly full HP for a training bot to actually not get bugged out. Poor training bots.
They've had a rough go at it.
They have a rough life in general, man. They just walk around. I mean, I still remember that patch was like a year or two ago. You guys made them do like the ow damage noises out of nowhere. You're just sitting there shooting silent training bots, and suddenly they start just crying. And you're like, oh no, I feel.
They also wave. They'll wave back now. Somebody said they wanted them to wave. Yeah, there you go.